What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of From the Sandbox Sports, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to us, man. We appreciate all the love and support, man. If y'all rock with us, be sure to tap into From the Sandbox Sports everywhere. From the Sandbox Sports on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, man, all that. We're everywhere, man. Twitter. Be sure to tap in with us, man. Let's get into it. Like I said a few episodes ago, man, I've hinted at it for a few episodes. Today I'm starting my first episode of Tiger Talk. This is going to be a weekly episode, probably on Fridays. We're going to see how it works. But where I'm just, talking straight Tiger, man. Straight Tigers, football, baseball. I would talk basketball, but ain't much to talk about. But yeah, it's just going to be a time for me to come on here. This is kind of my, what would you call it? My, safe space, not safe space, but my, sanctuary right here, man. I'm a diehard LSU Tiger. And I think they deserve some more, coverage. Obviously it's LSU, they're going to get coverage, but deserve more coverage here in From the Sandbox Sports space. And who better to do it than your boy right here. So, as we all know, as LSU Tiger fans, man, this weekend, Friday, starts conference play, man. I've waited for this for a long time, man. We got football ending in, January or whatever. And then we got till, March to actually get into, I wouldn't say real baseball, because we played real baseball. So what are we, 16, 17-1? We're played real baseball, but this is the nitty gritty right here, man. This is, trying to project us to a, SEC championship, onto a regional, onto a super, and by God's will, hopefully another national championship. So let's just go ahead and get into it, man. I'm going to start from Frisco. That's kind of when I think that LSU found something that works. You know what I'm saying? They found a little bit of pitching rotation. They found some guys. Obviously the batting lineup is solidified 1 through 3. I just think that's when everything kind of started to click. My main takeaways right now from LSU is pitching is probably the biggest question mark for this team right now. Obviously, Cade Anderson is probably signed, sealed, and delivered as your Friday night guy. I haven't really, seen too much that worries me about Anderson. Ianson has been, he's been good. He's been all right. But I think he's your Saturday guy, and obviously Shores is your Sunday guy. But the relievers is where our relief is kind of where we need to, seal some things up. And I have a tier list. I was talking with a guy on TikTok, messaged me and asked me my tier list of our bullpen, and I'm gonna get into that soon. But I just kind of want to talk about our hitters now. Obviously, in my eyes, I think that Curiel is probably the best freshman we've ever had. Let me slow down. I think Curiel has the potential to be one of the best freshmen to come through LSU. I know we had Bregman. Cruz was obviously outstanding. But, man, there's just something different about Derek Curiel, man. I think he's got a swagger about him that I haven't seen around in a long time. Like I said, I know Bregman was the guy. Dylan Cruz was the guy. But Daniel Curiel is, I'm trying to explain this in a way that, casual viewers that view this show could kind of, relate to. My baseball guys will understand. I think he just got that baseball swag. He is a baseball guy, and that's all I can say about him. He's a true baseball guy, man. I believe, don't catch me slipping, because he could have here and there, but I think in Frisco was his first, multiple game span to where he started, where he's hitting leadoff. And he leads the team with a .588 on base percentage. He's hitting .421. He's walked 21 times. And as a head coach, I think that just screams leadoff. You know what I'm saying? He puts together at-bats that I have not seen out of a freshman in a long time. He just looks comfortable up there. Granted, he hasn't seen SEC pitching, but he saw, a Dallas Baptist team who was pretty damn good, a Kansas State team who upset an Arkansas team and won their regional last year. Like, Kansas State ain't no joke. But he just puts together at-bats that it's almost like every time he gets up there, man, you honestly feel like, he's getting on base, whether it's a hit, whether it's a walk. And then he's deadly on the base pass as well. I just think he's a solidified leadoff guy. If coaches are out there and trying to figure whether you're high school or peewee, if you have a Derek Curiel-esque guy, that is a, solidified leadoff guy. And then another thing that is kind of gave me a breath of fresh air going into the season, man, it was almost like, what are we going to do with Bear Jones? Obviously he's probably, we could argue Ethan Fry, but he's probably the most powerful cat in college baseball. And I'm not saying that as I'm not saying that as an LSU bias guy. I'm saying that from the standpoint of I know baseball. It's my bread and butter. And Bear Jones has major league power. Some of the balls I've seen him hit, even balls that he doesn't square up and barrel up, man, they're just rocket shots. I think he hit one, 110 off the bat. Like, man, that's major league numbers right there. But the way they've put him in this lineup with Curiel, Jones, and then Dickinson it's taken a lot of weight off Daniel Jones. Giants fan, man, I'm sorry. It's taken a lot of weight off Bear Jones. It's not a point. We're not at a point now to where a team can overlook Dickinson, because Dickinson came on as he's came on very well. He's had a little hiccups here and there at Fort Wayne. We kind of he was iffy, but man, he's come around. His powers come around, and it just gives Daniel Jones some pressure off his shoulders. Hitting behind Derek Curiel, who he knows is pretty confident he'll be on base, could be, in scoring position. And then having a guy like Dickinson behind him to know that, he's going to get a pitch to hit. You know what I'm saying? I think now that they've kind of figured out this first three spots in the lineup, I think that not the first three, but the 1 and the 3. I think Daniel Jones will probably get some more pitches to hit, because you don't want to overlook, you don't want to not pitch to Bear Jones, get him on base, and then Dickinson could come up like he did and hits Grant. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you can overlook Dickinson, which takes a lot of weight off Daniel Jones. God dang it, I did it again, man. I'm talking too fast. It takes a lot of weight off Bear Jones. As far as, 1, 2, 3, I think that's solidified. I think that'll be Curiel, Jones, and Dickinson. In my eyes, I honestly think that, Josh Pearson is probably that 4-hole guy. Josh Pearson has been one of my favorite players for a while at LSU. He's just a scrappy guy. He doesn't do anything great. He has a beautiful swing, I'll tell you that much. He struggles a little bit with pitch selection, but he's had a hot season this year. I think he's, where's he at? I think he's a little above 400. I just think he's our guy. You know what I'm saying? I think that, it's a good thing it's a good position that Jay Johnson is in right now, because you got a cat like Ethan Fry on the bench, who is another guy, is another cat with a lot of power. But just the way that, Pearson figures out a way to get on base, he figures out a way to beat the shift. hits to where the ball is pitched to him. You know what I'm saying? He takes what the pitcher gives him. You know what I'm saying? He'll take one over shortstop. He'll hit into the shift. He has one to pull. He'll hit it in the shift. You know what I'm saying? He's a fearless hitter, and that's what I like about him. And then, Milam's come around. Well, I mean, he didn't go nowhere, but, we're seeing the power from him. And I'm not saying he's got, outstanding power, but he's got 4 home runs right now, hitting over 400. And I think he's matched his season high last year, and all those came in, the postseason, Milam's home runs. So yeah, I'm excited about the lineup right now. Like I said, it could switch around a little bit. I think the outfield might be. I don't see a world where Stanfield and Curiel are not center and left field. The way Jake Brown has come along, I think he has. It's hard to say right now. I think right field is up in the air, but the way Jake Brown has come around, swinging the bat a little bit, he'll steal a bag for you. I think he leads the team with 4 steals. I think he'll start Friday, and he'll probably start the whole series. But that could be, a place that's up in the air. And then the other 2 for me that were up in the air was catching. Hernandez, come in as such a highly touted transfer portal guy. I think he was top, 5 or 10. I know he was top 10. He might have been top 5, but he was a top 10 transfer guy. Started off a little slow with the bat. He's come around lately, but just the fact that, he gives these pitchers a little bit more security behind the plate. I know wild pitches. I know walks have been a struggle for us as of late. But, I just think Aaron Beatty is young. Like I said, another great, highly touted freshman recruit. I think he was Texas Gatorade Player of the Year, coming in, thinking he's going to get some PT, and he will every now and then. But I think that Hernandez is the guy behind the plate. And like I said, with his bat coming along, I think, it's just something to where, we're, 20 games in, 20 games in of a 55 game season. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we can see a lot right now. We can see a little bit, but once the competition ramps up, that obviously gets guys a little bit more focused. Guys aren't coming out focused to a North Dakota State. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, like I said, catching was iffy. Hernandez is the guy. The other position was third base. And I think that was probably the biggest red flag in my eyes for this LSU team. I think that, it's hard. It's hard, and I got a lot of respect for Braswell. I really like him as a ball player. He's a solid glove, but it's just his plate performance is declined from last year. I think he hit 320 last year. I believe he's mid 200 right now. A lot of pop ups, a lot of weak fly balls, and then you got a guy like Reeves, who comes in and is squaring the ball up. I think that Johnson will sacrifice, a little bit of defense because they want to be so aggressive at the plate. I think that, Reeves is the guy. Could I see, Braswell come in late games, up a run or 2, and, pinch hit for some defensive security? Yes, absolutely. And could I see Braswell getting back in that starting lineup? Absolutely. I don't think that this is, I saw a couple guys on Twitter talking about, the end of Michael. But no, this is not the end of Michael Braswell, man. I think he is a solid ball player. Figured it out a little bit at the plate. I think he's come in and pinch hit against, who was it? They played Xavier last, I believe. He come in and pinch hit against Xavier, squared a nice. I thought that ball was gone. But, I just think that, as of right now, going into SEC play, you got to go with your hot hand. And I think that, because of his performance at the plate and how well he's scoring up the ball, as of right now, I think Reeves is your guy. And, like I said, Stanfield will be your center fielder. I think Stanfield brings something to this team I haven't seen in a long time. And I'm not saying that, granted, he's extremely fast. He plays a great center field, but this is coming from a college baseball player. I played Division II in junior college baseball at a pretty high level. And you have guys like Stanfield who come on this team and bring all the energy. And that's something that these guys can feed off of. He makes a good play in center. He's hype, jumping up and down. I love that out of Stanfield, man. I think that's something that he can bring into tight games and, get these guys up. I really like Stanfield. And then we'll go, Stephen Milam solidified at shortstop. And I can't remember, it might have been Jay Johnson. He said he was playing the best at shortstop in the country, but I believe Stephen Milam could be the best shortstop in the country. And again, man, I could sound biased. I know there's a few good shortstops, or there's a lot of great shortstops out there. I'm not going to lie, but just with Milam and Dickinson up the middle, man, if you've watched any LSU baseball, you know that right there is probably, the best tandem to me. And like I said, I could be biased. I'm not trying to be, but that could be the best second base shortstop tandem in the country, man. They're going to roll up a lot of double plays. It's going to give teams, fits because, guys want to, hit it up, nice line drives up the middle, but you got to know that if you hit it, if it goes to shortstop or it goes to second base, man, that's almost an out. With guys on, that's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of pressure knowing that if you hit it on the ground in this infield, it will be a double play. Fielding percentage is pretty good. Other than that, man, I think, it's pretty solid. I think we're pretty solidified. Like I said, DH could, be up in the air. I think, Missouri's going to bring out, I believe what I saw will be 3 lefties, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think we will see Ethan Fry in there at DH. Ethan Fry's done very well against lefties. He's finally back healthy. And I think, Pearson is a street guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll go 9 for 12 in Frisco and then, do what he does. But I think that, that is Pearson. Fry will seal up that DH spot. But yeah, I think that's how they're going to roll this weekend. But let me get back to Frisco right quick. My takeaways from Frisco and that carry over to the SEC. Another big one for the team is they won 3 types of ball games, man. They played that Kansas State team, scrappy game, went into extras, and that's something they needed to show that scrappiness, to show that you can sustain a lead. And then, you go into the Nebraska game, you come back from a down 5-0, and then just take off with the game. That was a, great game. It honestly, it's something we didn't see before that Nebraska game, to where, they come out a little flat. The pitching was good. Nebraska was squaring it up. And then, the Sam Houston game, they started with a 7-0 lead, and then, it turned into a slugfest. I think the game, how did I not write it down? I believe it ended up 12-8, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can fact check me and leave it in the comments. But that's 3 ball games that LSU needed to have going into SEC play. They needed to know they can scrap one out. They needed to know that, there's not, 5 runs is a lot of runs, but we can come back from a 5-0. We can come back down from at least 5-0. And then you got to know that, on the flip side, that no lead is safe. Coming up 7-0 against Sam Houston, winning 12-8, that we have to hang on to. We have to keep our pedal to the metal. And then, after Frisco, they come back. I believe it was Tuesday. They might have got back Monday, or I can't remember. They got back Sunday or Monday. They go into, North Dakota State comes to the house, and it gets ugly. It gets very, very ugly. You go to Frisco, you play, 3 pretty good, solid teams, and then you come back to a 1-9 North Dakota State team. Connor Ware, who, when I talk about my list, he'll be on a teeter, but, he struggled. He didn't have his stuff. At first inning, he gave up 3 runs and 2 hits. pitched 2 innings, 2 hit by pitches and 3 walks. That's not, that's obviously not having his stuff. And then Newton Primo came in and they gave up 4 more runs. And then on top of that, Aaron Beatty struggled behind the plate, couple pass balls. He struggled blocking. That's just a freshman, I think, just kind of, maybe, it's a freshman struggle, man. It is. It really is. But I think that, coming back, winning that one, they needed to do it. But let's get into these. Let me see. Anything else I want to touch on? No, I think I touched on everything. Okay. Now, we're going to get into my tiers of LSU's bullpen. Guys who are going to come in, compromising situations. Where do I rank them? Who do I have confidence in coming in and sealing the deal? Guys on, what I'm saying, maybe down, coming in and commanding the strike zone, which has been a struggle for us. But my tier 1, I have Kason Evans, Zach Cowan, Will Smith, and obviously Gavin Guidry because he's done it for a couple years. Kason Evans has 10 innings pitched, 19 Ks, 3 base on balls with a sub-1 ERA. I think he is probably, the first guy out the pen. Has great stuff, just like all these guys has great stuff. Zach Cowan, another guy with great stuff. 14 innings pitched, 2 base on balls, 19 Ks with a 1.23 ERA. Another guy, like I said, great stuff. And then my sleeper for who could maybe make his way into I don't want to take away from what Anthony Ianson does. He's got 35 Ks. I think he either leads or he's just behind Cade Anderson. I think Cade Anderson might be, I think he's got 37. I think Ianson's like 36 or 35. I don't want to take away what Ianson's been doing, but Ianson has struggled, his first couple innings, each outing. He's a guy that has to get going. And, as much as I like Ianson, his stuff, he's got great stuff as well. He gives, different crazy delivery, big cat. I think Will Smith could possibly be a starter. Maybe a Saturday guy. I think Chase Shores is probably your Sunday guy. Sundays, the days that it gets weird. And I think, I just think Shores is built for it. But Smith's got 13 innings pitched, 3 base on balls, 16 Ks with a 1.35 ERA. Another highly touted recruit, a transfer guy. But the thing with these guys is they're all righties. We got to have, you got to have your lefty guys out the pen. And, talking about lefties out the pen in my tier 2 is Cooper Williams, Connor Ware, and DJ Primo. And, I got Jaden Newton there and Connor Benj. We'll talk about them in a little bit. But Cooper Williams, 4 innings pitched, 5 base on balls, 6 Ks. That's where things can get a little dicey. Connor Ware, 9 innings pitched, 5 base on balls, 15 Ks. And DJ Primo, 5 innings pitched, 3 base on balls, 5 Ks. The lefties have to step up. You know what I'm saying? The lefties have to step up. I need 2 of these guys. And I think Connor Ware is probably going to be the lefty out of the pen. 2 of those guys have to step up. They really do. And then Connor Benj could possibly be in the first tier with 7 innings pitched, 6 walks, 8 Ks. His walk number is, obviously a little high. But the thing with the thing with Connor Benj is, like I said at the start when I said it's not great, it's gritty. That's how I would describe a guy like Connor Benj. He's not great, he's gritty. He'll get out of situations that he shouldn't be in the first place, but that, and that's what puts him pushing the tier 1 is that he can get out of situations that he puts himself in, and that makes for a great reliever. But yeah, that's my tiers. Like I said, Jaden Newt, DJ Primo, Connor Ware, Cooper Williams, Connor Benj, tier 2. Any of those guys could push their way up into tier 1, and I think they will. I think they'll figure it out. But yeah, that's short and sweet, man. That's LSU Tiger Talk, man. Like I said, man, I know this was kind of a rough take. I kind of freestyled a little bit, but Hey, we getting there, man. It's our first episode of Tiger Talk, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. It's going to be kind of more of a shorter episodes, just kind of briefly touching on it. When me and Ty get back together, we'll might touch on a little more. He'll touch on some Oklahoma. We'll touch NFL free agency. Don't think any of that's going anywhere, man. This is just my LSU, my episode. You know what I'm saying? This is my baby. This is my bread and butter. I want to take this specific episode of the podcast right here as far as I can go, man. I'm not going to stop with this. You'll get this. I don't know. Either going to be Thursday or Fridays, man. I got to figure it out. We're trying to figure out the right days to drop. Y'all leave comments of when y'all want us to drop. When's the best time for us to drop? Like we always say, man, we're almost pushing a year into it. We're still trying to smooth a lot of things out. Like we said, we got life. But yeah, just stick with us, man. Keep on tapping in. Like I said, it's might have been a rough episode. I might have been everywhere. Like I said, it's my first, it's my first Tiger Talk episode. So we're getting there, man. I'm trying to get better. You know what I'm saying? By game 20, by 20 games into SEC play, man, I'm going to be up there with the best of them. You best believe that. There ain't a dude out here working harder than me and Ty in this podcast space. And we're going to get there. I promise we are, man. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. First episode of Tiger Talk presented by From the Sandbox Sports, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Till next time.